It is, John, you're right. It's 8:06. It's 8:06 live if you're watching us live, listening to us live. However, it could be any other time of the day or night, which means the time doesn't really matter. But anyway, we are broadcasting live from thank you, John. Is this kind of a rough start or just kind of a stumbling out of the gates?
We don't play music anymore.
That's right.
And so this is our intro.
It's cut and dry. So let's start over again. Take two. Welcome to Garden America. I'm Bryan Main, along with John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. We are broadcasting once again for the second straight week from Tiger's palatial backyard here in a certain section of San Diego, California.
It's today
section.
Well, if I said Linda Vista to
Serra
people,
Mesa.
Serra Mesa.
Yeah, but nobody knows what that means, right? Like
Right.
that is a random
It is.
area
So
of San Diego.
somebody in let's say Tanya in San Jose, that would mean nothing to her. Or who else? Who's our friend in Tucson? Tucson Garden Club.
Sorry.
Come on, guys. This
Kim.
is the test.
Kim.
That's what. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was catching my hiccup.
No,
Or
that's
but Kim.
or Hastam.
Or Hastam in
Hastam.
Pakistan.
Exactly.
Doesn't know where Serra Mesa is.
Exactly. So welcome to the show. It's good to have you along. We've got a lot going on. We've got food for you. We've got some plumeria flowers.
We've got hummingbirds everywhere here.
Hummingbirds everywhere.
Yeah.
I know. I love how they just kind of sit up in the trees too and watch us for a minute and then flutter off.
I should. You know what? I should send you that picture. You can put
That's
it.
a good pic.
You could post it. I took a picture of a hummingbird
Yeah.
on top of one of Tiger's banana trees.
Exactly.
I believe it was on a giant bird of paradise.
was it?
I think it was too.
Was it a bird of paradise?
I think
Yes.
so, but I'm not positive.
They all blend together.
They do. Yeah. It's very
Anyway, we got the
confusing,
thumbs up for the audio.
I've been working. We were talking about this
Tirelessly.
before the show. I've been working really hard on making this whole connection thing work. I learned a lot this week, and fingers crossed, we're gonna have a great show.
You did.
By the way,
so kudos to Tiger for doing all that.
Tanya
homework.
wants to offer you a minor correction.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, she said that she's lived in El Cajon and Santee for 3 years, so
Oh.
she has an idea where things are.
So
Nice.
what you're telling me is that she has an inkling?
I don't know about an inkling.
Oh,
She's
hey,
got a hunch.
Kevin's joining us. Your buddy Kevin, and he was in San Diego last week. Did you make it to the reunion?
No. In fact, I didn't even know that it was happening. Kind of a last minute thing. So he was a class of '74. This was class of '75 last weekend, which we all know everybody anyway. So he's back in Coeur d'Alene right now?
I don't know. I just saw he joined, so I'm assuming he's joining from Coeur d'Alene, but we'll see.
I'm really impressed with the tropical influence in your garden right now.
Yeah, right.
You said the weather's been cooperating with
Perfect.
high humidity and
Look,
we had
that
some
big
rain. Yeah.
exactly.
You had the big rain. We
Yeah.
had dribs and drabs.
But Tiger's plumeria are the nicest I've seen
Yeah.
just about anywhere.
I
And
love the pink.
well, look at that plate he's got sitting in
Right.
front of him with hibiscus and plumeria.
That's
Yeah.
to feed his giant monitor lizard.
I have one problem. Let me show John. Hold on 1 second. You guys talk.
Talk while you're gone. Fill time.
He's
All
going
right,
to
so-
show me his problem.
He's going to exactly, and it's going to be a plumeria problem, I think, as he's over there digging around. Oh, it's a leaf. Let's see if it's the same problem I have with mine.
Is that spider mite?
It looks like spider mite.
Spider
yeah,
mite.
Spider mite, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is spider mite.
Yeah. It's only on one, and it's the crazy thing about
Just
it
the
is-
one leaf out of all of them?
No,
over
no,
there?
no. It's on
One
on
Oh, you mean
plant.
one plant? Okay.
But as you can see, that plant is very close to many others. So I'm happy it's only on that one right now.
What did you feed that plant with?
The same. I have this liquid fertilizer, organic liquid fertilizer. So it's the same that I did all the other ones with. But yeah, this one's got spider mites on it. So I got to figure out how I'm going to treat those. But not. It's just weird to me that it's only that one plant compared to all the rest. Because as you can see, they're all pretty close. You would think if one got it, other
Right,
ones would
and
get it.
and
I'm
the
glad they don't have it.
hibiscus are next to it, and they don't have it.
How-
Yeah.
Is this a silly analogy? If we were together and you had a cold and you were
Doesn't guarantee you're going to get one.
exactly,
Yeah.
John might get it, but I might not get
And
it.
I think that's where John was going with what did I
Right.
feed this one, right, compared to the other ones, because obviously this one can't fight it off, where the other ones
Right.
maybe are.
Right.
Yeah. So,
And sometimes different varieties of the same plant have different susceptibilities to disease, like roses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some roses get black spot and others don't.
Yeah.
You know, depending on what their background was. So there's been so much breeding in plumeria. I imagine the same thing could be there.
Yeah.
How many plumeria plants do you have?
Like actual plants or varieties?
You have more than a dozen.
Actual plants or varieties?
Actual plants.
Oh, yeah. I have way more than a dozen plants. Yeah.
And how many varieties?
Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
And that's just
16.
varieties.
I have probably about 17, 18 varieties. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
It's nowhere
have-
near.
yeah.
It's nowhere near thousands.
Well, I
You
don't
mean
have
just roses?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
1,500 roses?
but I have hardly any plumeria.
Yeah, but you have thousands of roses. I have 4.
Okay, here's a question
Now,
for John.
to be technically correct, hundreds of roses, not thousands. I do
here's-
have over 1,000.
Same
but
question for John. How many roses roughly do you have? Roughly.
1,600,
Okay.
Yeah.
all right.
1,700,
Now, here's the next question. How many varieties do you have?
1,600,
Yeah, he always has
1,700.
one of each.
You always have one of
he
each.
Propagates,
Well,
he
except
propagates them, but
except
he doesn't
for
count
the
those.
auction that's coming up. You know, those are all doubles.
yeah, he doesn't count those as part of his collection.
Right.
Right. So there's about 200 that'll be in the auction.
And do you factor in your seedlings every once in a while? Like when
No.
it makes it past stage 3, does it become?
I haven't counted any seedlings
Yeah.
in the number.
Yeah.
I still have 50 seedlings I'm evaluating, though. So,
Hey, have you ever seen a plumeria seed, Bryan? You know what they look like?
I might have, but no, off the top of my head, I don't
They're
remember
like these
what it
long,
looks like.
fingers, kind of a thing.
Okay.
You've never seen that?
Mm-mm.
No.
and they grow easily from seed.
They grow
Have you-
very,
Yeah.
very
Right,
well
one of the
from
easiest
seed.
plants to grow, right?
Yeah.
I've heard,
What do you mean?
well, I mean, you said they grow from seed. I mean,
Yeah.
like the average person could plant it and would probably do well. There's nothing
Oh, I think
special
so.
that you need to do.
I think so. Plumeria seed.
Yeah.
I mean, just it should be easy to grow from seed. But what I was kind of getting at was the same thing that John does, where he has these seedlings that he starts and sees what comes from those seedlings is always kind of interesting. And kind of plumerias fall in that same little group where you'll get varieties from those seedlings as well. But the difference is plumerias don't seed every year. Like you don't always get seeds from the plant. I don't know what triggers.
Depending on where you are.
Yeah, I don't know
Like
what
if you're in the
triggers it.
tropics.
They do get seeds every year.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
because I don't see seeds produce on my plants every year.
But if you ever looked at, when we go to the plumeria show,
Yeah,
you see new colors and
Yes.
stripes and all different things, and they're pretty expensive. And the reason they're expensive is just what you're saying. You get a new plumeria, and you've got that plant. So
Yeah.
if anybody wants to
have it.
anywhere in the world, it's got to be cuttings off that plant.
right. Which then you've got to grow it,
Right.
and then and it's
Now, they do graft plumeria in some. I think most of that grafting is done. They might do some here, but most of it's done in Thailand and places like that to get them to grow a little faster.
yeah. But even then, you still have to grow out this plant, which
Yeah,
takes a time.
yeah.
So I imagine you're years into production before you can actually start selling plants of plumeria.
Yeah.
Because the roses you talk about, like number one, sometimes you say they bloom before they have leaves. And then
They don't bloom before they have leaves. What are you
No,
talking about?
they bloom real quick for you though.
From seed, they
Yes.
bloom in about 6 to 8 weeks.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Right.
Plumeria don't bloom in that. Like you're not, when you grow it from seed, you're not going to see that bloom. Maybe even the first year.
Oh,
you,
yeah,
you
that's
never
true.
know
Yeah, it could be 2 to 3 years.
before you even
Right.
see the flower that it develops. Yeah. So, it's just fun to, when you like something and now it's fun to create something.
Right.
Kind of like what we're getting at here.
Hey, do you have any questions or comments? What's happening with our Facebook followers?
We're just letting it load up.
Yeah.
Tanya says, I have a seed from my spring sonnet camellia. Any idea of how to grow it? It has a very hard shell. Have you ever grown a camellia from seed, John? I have
On
never.
purpose?
Even on accident.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, at the base of at my old house, at the base of the camellia plants, some of the seeds fell, and they germinated on their own. But,
Really?
Yeah, but I moved before they ever bloomed, so I have no idea what
That
they
is
are.
impressive.
Yeah.
Because that's very uncommon to see a plant. I mean, unless it's a Washington palm, it's very uncommon to see the plant go to seed and then to have those plants grow up, right?
A lot of people have Bermuda grass. It's the main weed at their house.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
Washingtonias.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, they're horrible.
So, any notes for Tanya on growing the camellia?
Well, yeah. I first of all, go to YouTube and you can YouTube how to grow camellias from seed, and
Yeah.
I'll show you. But she mentions that it has a hard seed coat on it, and that does have to be opened.
Got it.
I think we're going to take a break here coming up. When we come back, we're going to hear John's quote of the week, and I'm going to comment on a picture that was in the newsletter, a personal opinion. So do stay for that. And I'd like to take this time to welcome those that are tuned in on Biz Talk Radio. Thank you for joining us every week. Of course, our loyal following on Facebook Live. We are broadcasting from a Tiger's Backyard again, second straight week. It's Garden America. I'm Bryan Main, along with John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Going to take a break for our friends on Biz Talk Radio. Thank you to our major sponsor, Fertilome. Back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. Those tuned in on Biz Talk Radio, thank you for hanging in through the break. Thank you for supporting our many fine sponsors here. Fertilome, our major sponsor here on Garden America. So John's got the quote of the week from one of his favorite people, Beverly Nichols. Right, John?
That's right. And the quote, Brian, is to dig one's own spade into one's own earth. Does life have anything better to offer than this?
Great quote, and I do get it. Now
There was an article on Beverly Nichols in the newsletter, too.
And now you're wondering about the picture that I want to comment on.
Yeah, what picture?
It is that picture which is above that article that you wrote
Right.
that looks like where I want to spend the rest of my life and eternity.
I don't know about eternity.
Well, it's part of heaven, isn't it? I mean, look at that. I
little
love
cottage.
That. It's just surrounded by flower. You can lose yourself.
It looks
reminds
like an English garden.
Yes.
You remember
it
that
does.
woman where we went to her yard and it was a personal garden. We were in her backyard and
The
she
one
had
with the different levels, and she had that old house.
she had the structure to keep the birds out of her garden as well.
Oh, I'm not sure. If
Yeah,
we're
I
talking
don't know.
about
I mean,
the
there
same
were
one.
there were
That's a
no,
great
not the
picture.
one with the levels. The one where you took the picture of me sitting in the grass. Not that one. Do you remember where you came running up the hill to show me the Kifsgate rose?
I've never seen John run up a hill. What does that look like?
And whose house was there?
The one that this reminds me of?
Yeah.
Or this reminds me of, it was a personal garden.
The flowers and plants and shrubs just like that,
Yeah.
right?
This was
Before we went to Kifsgate.
way before. I think this was one of our first or second stops.
I thought it was the woman, and she had tea for us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, she had, so you're saying that was a house with levels?
right.
Okay, yes. And
Not the house had levels,
No,
but the garden.
And-
yeah.
And one of the areas was this very detailed enclosed garden because she had a lot of birds.
Mm-hmm.
That picture reminded me of that property.
Do you know what that picture is?
Just love
Her
that
property?
pic.
No.
No, that picture is AI's interpretation
Of your
of the
article?
Beverly Nichols article, because those are the plants he liked.
Exactly. Perfect.
By the way, if you do have the article, I put some links to Beverly Nichols books that
Yes,
you
you
can
did.
get
In
on.
fact, I did. I went to the links.
Yeah, a lot of those books are around $30-$40. But there's one there that, and I might be down the garden path, I'm not sure, that you can get a used copy for $9.
The code is John B at gardenamerica.com. Use
No.
that code and get 20% off.
No, it's just Amazon. But I've never read a Beverly Nichols book I didn't like. And he wrote a lot of books that weren't gardening books also.
What else was he into? Well, you said a lot of books that, I mean,
I'll tell you off the air.
okay. All right.
He was...
And that'll be for our patrons only. That will be...
yeah, for our OnlyFans page.
Exactly.
The I think we've talked about Beverly Nichols before. He wrote around the same time as Vita Sackville West, and he was not respected in England because the English admired people who specialized in areas.
And he was all over the map.
He was everywhere. Yeah, he was in politics. He, like you say, Bryan hobnobbed with
He sure did.
yeah, a lot of the famous people
Was
of the
he a
day.
Renaissance man? Is that what you're leaning toward here, to some degree?
He had all kinds of things, and he had a problem with his dad. I think he wrote a nasty book about his father, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just amazing what he was into. But everything I've written by him or read by him was really interesting, and I think it's the kind his books are garden books are the kind of books that you'll be reading and then you just burst out laughing.
You know why he wrote that book
like our
about his
show.
dad? That nasty. Didn't have a good relationship.
Right.
Because he named him Beverly.
Boy,
It's like a
man
boy named Sue.
A boy
Yeah.
named Sue. I mean,
Right.
you have to go through life with that name, and you're going to get beat up now and then. And I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Wasn't the guy that played music for Billy Graham George Beverly Shea?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Who'd been with Billy Graham since the 40s.
Yeah, but at least that was his middle name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
George is manly
that,
enough.
That makes up for it. But yeah, Beverly Nichols. In fact, I think, John, for a long time, back in the day, you spoke of Beverly Nichols before I just assumed it was a woman.
Right.
And at some point, I don't know, months later, I made reference to that, and John goes, "It's a guy. It's a man."
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think
"What?"
his middle name was Susan.
I still forget. I still forget that. I've been told that a number of times, and I still forget. When I hear Beverly, I just
Because
instantly
I don't
think
know.
woman.
I never grew up. There's a lot of names that go back and forth. Dana can be either way. Riley can be either way. Jamie can be either
Yeah,
way.
those are
Right.
Beverly's pretty
Beverly's
straight. Like as far as
You know.
usually it's a girl's name.
Just call me Bev for short.
Yeah,
Bev.
yeah.
What's Bev short for? Just call me Bev.
If you read one of his books, you'll never wonder again. Just because you relate to him,
Yeah.
and you would like his books, Tiger.
I'll have to.
What is he? Late 1800s, early 1900s?
No. Early 1900s to like 1980.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, lived through the war and everything.
Okay. Interesting. Beverly Nichols. How are the comments and
So
questions coming along, Tiger?
Our listeners are having a lot of fun. Gina's involved a lot this morning. She made pancakes for the kids, and she has recovered from weeding John's house.
She did an awesome job. She
Yeah.
was a
She
dynamo
said she
going
enjoyed
through
I mean,
there.
she's like really thorough, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know about thorough as much as fast.
Carla
very
wanted to
fast.
congratulate Tanya on her sunflower from last week because Tanya wasn't on the program last week, so Carla wanted to make sure that she shared how impressed from the last week's newsletter she was by Tanya's sunflower. And
You know who's getting a lot of publicity in the newsletter with pictures? Kevin and Terry from Coeur d'Alene. After months and years of telling John, you never print any of my pictures in the newsletter. And now just about every other week, there's something coming to us from Kevin in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
well, yeah, just right now, Carla was writing, really enjoyed the article on nasturtium seeds as poor man's capers.
Yeah.
Okay. And also the photo of edibles from friends. Will you make pie with that rhubarb, Kevin? Because he had some rhubarb
Right.
that was photographed in there too, which I think we've talked about this before, but I don't think I've ever met anyone that's actually made rhubarb pie.
Is rhubarb wild? Is it? Are there
No.
any? No. What?
No,
No. What?
It's not wild.
it's not wild.
No. Rhubarb itself.
What about it?
I answered that again and again. No.
You didn't hear what my question
Okay.
was, but go
ahead.
Go. Is any part of rhubarb poisonous?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I was
Not
leading,
wild.
leading to. Leading to.
The leaves.
Yes. So you have to cut off the leaves and use the stem, right?
There's a way to prepare
Always
it.
wonder if you go somewhere for dinner and they're serving rhubarb salad.
always have a look,
The sal-
see the reviews.
Yeah, I'll have the pie, but not the salad.
John, you're big on pufferfish, right? You love eating pufferfish.
That would be a funny thing to do, is put on a menu a rhubarb salad and just see how many people questioned you, right?
Well, sometimes
I mean, not actually make
plants get reputations they don't deserve. For instance,
Or can't shake.
don't you always think that that tomato leaves are poisonous?
Yeah.
But you
Or
can use them.
solanum.
You can
We're
use
gonna
them
take
in
a
a
break.
salad.
It's break time.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah.
No. All right.
Gonna take a break.
Stop cutting us off, Brian.
I know, but I got to stay on time
We're
for the
having a
network.
discussion.
This
All
is
right.
for you, Biz Talk Radio. You've got to stay tuned with the format clock. So I'm going to take a break and come right back for those on Facebook Live a bit longer on Biz Talk Radio. This is Garden America. Stay with us. And just like that, quick as a bunny, as John likes to say, we are back here on Garden America from Tiger's Backyard. We do appreciate you tuning in. Anybody, what's interesting is we see the list of people here that are always tuned in. We see the names, and occasionally John will say, "Hey, what are these names here that pop up?" I don't
Oh, a
recognize
lot of new
these
people
names."
watching today.
They just don't necessarily interact. They just kind of watch because they're curious.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
don't
Ask
be
a
afraid.
question.
Yeah.
There are no silly questions.
I'd like to know if anybody's a brand new gardener, just starting out for the first time.
Yeah, because we don't want you to watch our show. Hey,
We're kind of rough. We're a rough bunch, I'll tell you that.
no. I'm just
He's
kidding, of
kidding.
course. Carla did mention there's a biography out there of Beverly Nichols too. Maybe you might be more into biographies than you are.
Is this something we can watch or read?
It's a book, but Carla mentions that if you read his biography, it's a very sad story. So it's probably better to just read his gardening books.
Yeah, they're not as sad.
Because they're not sad at all. No, they're kind of humorous, and but yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, Carla, the biography did go into the problems that he had with his father. But he would hobnob with royalty, Brian. Like
Well, he was accepted in those circles.
yeah, kings and queens and dukes and duchesses.
Princesses and princes. And
That's right. So he was also a member of that Noel Coward, Oscar Wilde group.
That whole, okay. Yeah, running around in that circle.
Yep.
To answer one of the questions, I'm going to borrow my leaf again here, Brian.
Sure.
I'm going to try to hold this up. You guys will have to talk. Carla had asked what the spider mite damage looked like, if we can show a close-up.
No, I think that's a good idea.
And, John, I think while I'm doing it can also, because, there's a few things when it comes to plant problems that are very easy for a gardener to see. And spider mite damage is usually one of those things. It's very specific.
Right.
Kind of like, an iron deficiency. An iron deficiency is a, yellow leaf with green veins. For the most part, when you see that.
To me, that looks like if somebody said, "What's it look like?" I said, "The leaf is fading."
Yeah,
It's a fading leaf.
But
From
so,
the inside out.
But
Yes.
but it's very hard sometimes to know like what is overwatering or underwatering. Sometimes it's difficult to see like sucking insect damage. Like it's not always like specific. But spider mites are one of those things. So if John can describe it, I'm going to hold it up to one of the cameras so people can see it if they're watching.
Yeah, there's a couple ways you can tell spider mite damage quickly, Brian. One is if you take the leaf and if you pound it over a piece of white paper, like smack the back of it, and then take your hand and rub it over the paper, you'll see streaks. And the streaks are because you've squashed all their little bodies.
Wow.
And you
That,
get
that sounds rather violent.
you get a trail of spider mite guts there.
You're smashing and pounding and all those things?
Yeah, and if you look at what Tiger's showing now, you see how the center vein is
There's
all
a good
the
shot, yeah.
right. All the chlorophyll's been taken out. Usually,
Is that the discoloration?
yeah.
Okay.
Usually, spider mites are on the back side of a leaf, but they also come to the front when they're heavy, and that's what Tiger had. Most pesticides, if you're spraying, do not kill mites because pesticides, or I should say insecticides, are for killing insects, and mites are not
No, they're not
insects.
insects.
Right. So you need a miticide. I don't use anything, but you can also use organic sprays, suffocants, oils.
Yeah.
Maybe neem oil would work, but any of the horticultural oils would suffocate them. Canola oil would do a good job.
And now, because it's a plumeria too, and it goes dormant in the wintertime, do I have to be worried that it's going to come back next season?
Carry on to next year.
Or because all those leaves will go away, it's going to sit bare for 2 or 3 months, and then the new stuff comes out.
Well, you don't have a big problem. If you had a big problem, they could overwinter on the stems. But just that one leaf, I would just pull a leaf off and not even worry about it.
Okay.
But if you want to, you can spray.
So they can overwinter sometimes, but they come back if you have a big problem with it growing in the garden.
If they didn't overwinter, you would never have them the next year. I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends who are rose exhibitors, and they need all their flowers to look perfect.
Yeah.
When they exhibit them in shows, spray heavily. And by spraying heavily to make sure that their blooms are perfect, they kill any natural predators that are out and about.
Okay.
So with the predators being dead, that allows the spider mites to take over. Because there are predatory mites that will eat spider mites.
Yeah.
The bad spider mites, I should say. Good spider mites and bad spider mites.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens, right? Where there's, bugs that eat other bugs, and then there's bugs that eat plants. But we call the bugs that eat other bugs good bugs.
Good bugs, right?
But yet the vegetarian bugs are the bad bugs.
Yeah. It's interesting the way we do that for cannibals, but not people.
Yeah, exactly.
Not for cannibals. Do it for bugs, but not for people.
I don't want to live in an area where there's people that are cannibals. That doesn't sound good.
You're
to
not
me.
into that, are you?
No. I don't think those are good people.
Yeah, I think one time you said you frowned upon that.
Yeah. I would not classify them as something I wanted to introduce into my yard.
Then you certainly don't want to go to that island, North Sentinel Island, off of Sri Lanka in India, do you?
Where there still is that tribe.
Then they don't want anybody there. Leave us alone.
Exactly.
Yeah. I said North Sentinel Island. Yeah.
Carl is thanking you for showing that leaf. She's got him.
You know what? That was good. I mean, that probably identifies with a lot of people there.
Well, and the funny thing about spider mites is they're very common on houseplants because of that warm area.
Especially in cold areas of the country.
Yeah, lack of
because
wind.
You have dry heat.
Dry heat.
Yeah, they don't like humidity.
No, they don't.
But they do like the dryness.
Yeah, so they always talk about when you have spider mites on your houseplants, it's almost very difficult to get rid of because the treatments, like John's saying, you can't just use an insecticide. You have to use a miticide. They're inside the house, so you got to kind of treat the whole plant. And they get on the tops and bottoms, which is also a difficult thing.
Yeah. In warm areas like California, you can take the plant outside and hose it down, which is a good thing for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Kevin wants to know, Tiger, if those are Disneyland boulders in the background.
Yes, they are.
No, they're actually real. I touched it.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. Is this a real boulder?
No,
those are real.
They're concrete.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Real concrete.
Exactly. I should change up that shot. Let me see. I'll move it to the other side of the yard. I forgot that I can do this here.
Tanya just put the kiss of death on her show.
Uh-oh.
She said she's been afraid to say anything because the sound is excellent and there's no buffering.
Yeah. Well, again, Tiger spent a good portion of the week. Now, next week is a whole – see, enjoy the moment. Next week could be a whole different story, but so far we think we've got it nailed down.
Yeah, I learned a lot this week, I said.
About that. Because you know what? It's cause and effect, and just when you think you've solved something else, well, then when I solve this problem, why is this not working?
Yeah.
And then what's the cause of this not working to begin with? It's like going through it's like when you get all your cords all tangled up with each other, and you got to go through there and try to figure out what goes where.
Hey, Joyce says that she got her last 4 fruit trees planted this week. What fruit trees did you plant, Joyce?
Yeah.
Do you have any fruit trees in your future, Tiger?
Yes.
What are you looking for?
So I have orange, lemon, lime, and mandarin right now. Okay, so those are the 4. Oh, and a fig. So I have 5 fruit trees right now.
Did you have the dwarf fig?
Yes.
At Fig Nominal?
Fig Nominal.
Huh.
Yes.
Has it fruited for you?
Not yet. I will say I have I've almost pushed that plant to the point of death because of lack of water.
Uh-huh.
So I don't expect anything from it until next year. I was seeing how it can survive on its own. It didn't work out very well. It needs water. But the one fruit tree that I need to plant when I finish the area behind the pool house where I'm going to put the plumerias and my other fruit trees is that flat, not peach. Yeah, peach, right?
The donut peach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Those are really good.
I have to have one of those,
Yeah.
right? Like, because you can't find it in the store. You know.
Well, some stores have them.
Yeah, but like it's not common,
Right.
Right. Like, I can find an apricot. I can
Right.
find a peach. I can find a plum.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to find that. So I'm going to grow that.
Even
for sure.
those aren't as good as if you grew them yourself.
Yeah.
Regular.
Oh, guess
Yeah.
what?
What?
Break again?
Yeah, see,
Why interrupting?
You know why?
That was a good guess.
Because it's just the show is just so entertaining.
Yeah.
It's full of information. It's flying right by. So again, taking a break for Biz Talk Radio. Thank you for tuning in. This is Garden America. Happy weekend, if indeed it is the weekend that you're listening, or maybe during the week. Happy week to you. Garden America back after these messages. All right, welcome back. If you are tuned in listening on Biz Talk Radio, this is the final segment of hour number 1 with news coming up. How about that? News on Biz Talk Radio. We come back at 6 minutes after. Some markets carry 1 hour, 2 hours. Some carry the second hour, the first hour. It's a mishmash. We hope you can follow the show. And again, as Tiger mentioned, I'm not sure if we were on the air when you mentioned this, but you can always go to our YouTube channel, usually early afternoon, and this show and other shows are uploaded. So whatever you missed,
You just go back.
you can pause and rewind and do
There's
whatever
a-
you want. That's Garden America Radio Show on YouTube.
There's a product or a question you had answered. You go
Yeah.
back, you replay it.
You can replay it, exactly.
Hey, prior to the break, we were talking about trees you were looking to plant. What about planting a jujube?
Jujube.
Yeah.
I
like.
don't. I'm not opposed to jujubes. I just
And they're-
don't eat them that many.
It's called the movie theater
Well, do you
tree.
not eat them because you don't have access to
Maybe.
them?
Maybe that's why. Yeah.
Because that's one of the fruits you can eat dry or you can eat it fresh.
Right. So jujube, you think would another? How big
Eh.
is that tree though?
They're not huge.
No.
No.
Like as big as a citrus,
Oh yeah, definitely.
right?
Yeah.
So okay.
But you could.
Can I keep it trimmed down?
Yeah, you can keep it trimmed, but the nice thing about them is they're drought tolerant too.
Yeah.
So if you had a drier area of your garden, you could use it. And there's a lot of new varieties that are extra sweet. So I think you might like those.
There was one. I go to this donut place on Friday mornings for the crew. I get donuts on Fridays, and it's so funny you mentioned that because the woman at the donut shop, she was like, "Hey, I'm looking for it." She's called it a honey jujube.
There's a variety called honey.
Okay, she wants
a new
that
one of the newer ones. Yeah.
She wants that one, and I was like, "Oh, I'll have to look into it. I don't think I've seen that one before."
Yeah.
So it's so funny that you mentioned you should grow jujubes because she was asking if I can find a honey jujube for her. Yeah.
Well, it's even more of a coincidence because I'm looking for donuts.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it's gonna
that's
work
great.
together.
We should get together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dana wants to know where we're going to broadcast from next week, and Carla assumed it's going to be from your patio.
Well, I was thinking about that. Seriously, we would have to do a lot of moving around, and we'd be in very tight quarters. Very tight quarters. Yeah, it's tight in that patio. You have to move everything out of the way. We'd have a pencil plant behind us.
Oh, we don't want to inconvenience
And
you.
we'd have the Australian tree, bottle tree
bottle
behind
tree.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crampy.
Carla wants to know if there was a bad crop of white peaches and nectarines this year. They've been hard to find and expensive when she does find them. I don't know. They're not as prolific as the yellow ones. I shouldn't say prolific, but as common as the yellow ones. So I don't know that there was a bad crop. Or it could just not be in season.
I will
Some
say,
of them
though,
are later.
that across the board right now, when it comes to farming, they're having a lot of struggles. I mean, farmers are, having a lot of challenges, whether it's, water or growth, problems of their specific crops. And, as John just mentioned, sometimes, there's a good, year, or sometimes there's a good season, and then sometimes they're not. And that's part of farming is, there's years that things grow all by themselves because you got rain and everything was wonderful, and then there's years where there wasn't rain and you don't get as good a production. And that's where I think that we are so blessed being in San Diego, because we do have so many resources for, like you said, like I was like, I could barely find the donut. And you're like, yeah, you find them around, and you do.
Right.
Where some places that fruit almost like never exists because they don't have anybody that grows them locally or nearby. But we have a lot of farms, and especially where you live, John, up in Fallbrook. I mean, you guys have so many farms in that area that your markets,
small
your grocery
growers,
stores,
small growers too.
are just
a lot of
flooded
backyard growers.
Yeah, really neat stuff. I was down in the downtown. You have a very, for those of you that have never been to Fallbrook, it's almost like London, where it's like new London.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's like new London.
Come to Fallbrook,
and then
the
old
London
London,
of California.
Right.
Where there's like new Fallbrook and old Fallbrook, because your major drag street, your major street there has like all the
we call it Main Street.
yeah, it has all the major
Which I
normal markets and grocery stores and fast food stuff.
Right.
But then off to the side they have this like I don't know, off Main Street, where they have like the older
Old Town,
small shops, small restaurants, small little boutique-y things. And you turn any corner and you're surprised by all the fun stuff they have there.
Well, we've mentioned on air before that Fallbrook is the oldest town in Southern California that was not founded by the Spaniards or the
really?
Mexicans. Yep.
That's a
Really?
good trivia question.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's why it's not San Fallbrook
right, yeah,
or
exactly.
Santa Fallbrook.
Yeah, or having some kind of other Hispanic name behind it.
Right.
Yeah, or Los anything.
Yeah,
right?
it was actually named after a town in Pennsylvania called Fallbrook, which was two words.
Two words.
It was
Yeah.
founded by the Amish?
No. It was founded by the Retchies. There's a Retchie Road.
Yeah, that's the family.
Yeah, one of
And-
the families.
And were they like
And outside of Fallbrook is Duluth, right?
right?
Which is a play on the word, because you look at Duluth, what would you think that
The
meant?
light.
The light, right?
Right.
So you'd think that's a Spanish name, right?
I would.
It was actually named after the Luce, Luce family.
Oh.
And Luz was a Spanish version of Luce.
In Luce, luce, right? Like, isn't that
Could be. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well,
Is that light also?
yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But their name was Luce.
Got
So,
it.
and if you want to read a little bit about the history of Fallbrook, 4 or 5 of the chapters in my new book talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you
All
know,
right.
we've got about a minute,
All right.
so you're not
Paula,
surprised.
Paula, I have a problem with black, she said, rust on Asian pear. Had 2 trees, only one left, and it's great fruit, wonderful shelf life. Fallbrook is heaven. Black rust on Asian pear. Now, I'm imagining that sooty mold.
That would be my guess,
Yeah,
too.
so if it's black.
Again, you need to see a picture,
yeah.
because it's like telemedicine. If you call the doctor, what's wrong with
Yeah,
me?
show it to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, but that's my guess too, because sooty mold grows in the secretions of insects, usually aphids,
Yep.
but can also be scale.
Scale.
It is
things
break
like
time
that.
for Biz Talk Radio. News coming up. Top of the
All
hour.
right.
Hopefully your market carries us. We come back at 6 minutes after. Those on Facebook Live, stick around. It's going to be a quicker break. This is Garden America. Welcome to your weekend. We appreciate it. Okay, back from the break. Biz Talk Radio, thank you. This is hour number 2. Welcome to the show. Welcome those on Facebook. Welcome those that are watching and listening to us for the very first time.
So before the break, we were talking about Paula. She has
Yes.
a black
Sooty mold, right?
sooty mold, I believe, on her Asian pear. And so, as John mentioned, a lot of times that sooty mold comes from secretion of insects, scale, aphids, sucking insects that are on the plant.
Yeah, it's a fungus that grows in the secretion.
Yes. And, on an Asian pear, the thing to do, number one, it's going to go dormant in the wintertime. So, to protect against that kind of stuff is when it's dormant using your, all season oil sprays and things like that. But, you're trying to prevent the bugs. You're not trying to treat the disease problem. You're mostly probably trying to focus on the bugs, which means during the growing season, maybe you can wash it off, insecticidal soaps, things like that for the next year. Because I don't know, Paula. Are you already harvesting right now? Imagine Asian pear right now. You've got fruit on there, and it's picking time.
Yeah.
So I imagine you
have
don't need to worry.
There's some varieties of Asian plums or Asian pears that are more resistant to fire blight than others.
Yeah.
So she had mentioned she had one tree die. It could have been from fire blight too, right?
Yeah, which is a disease passed from normally pruning. You're passing it almost like a blood disease that you're passing.
And you would get
cut
black leaves from that also, but they wouldn't be fuzzy.
Yeah, and now on something like that, is it normal fire blight where you'll have like a whole branch that just died out, right?
Right.
Does it show the same on a pear like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I've never seen, it where it's fruiting. Like, does the fruit on that branch completely die out too? Like, say you had a pear develop.
I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't know for sure, but that would be my guess.
Yeah, because it pretty much, when you cut that branch, it's like the whole branch is dead.
Yeah.
So I imagine if you had fruit and then that fruit just shriveled up and the whole branch was dying, that was a good sign of fire blight. Which you got to be real careful, because you can't just prune that out. And there's really, there's specific ways to take care of that by eliminating it. You brought up this really cool concept of the disease roses, where they grow them under such intense heat that they outrun the virus in the plant, and then they can now cure the rose, so to speak, by taking this new growth that has outrun the virus.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so amazing to me. Fire blight is a virus also, or is it?
I think it's a bacteria.
Bacterial.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's not.
I think
something...
it's bacterial fire blight.
Okay.
But
so you can't
you can easily Google that and see if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There used to be that. What was the product that was the harpin protein that they sprayed on pears?
Harpin
Messenger. Do you remember Messenger?
Oh, yeah, I remember Messenger. That was harpin protein.
Yeah.
And
I think it was to prevent fire blight.
You're right.
Yeah.
It did list that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were talking earlier when Joyce commented that she had just planted her last 3 fruit trees and she had one more to go. We asked what they were, Tiger, and she said they're apricot, Asian pear, plum, elephant plum.
Elephant plum.
I think that's elephant heart plum. Do you know that one? Have you seen that one?
No, I don't know that one.
It's really good. It got kind of a strange name because it's like blood red when you bite into it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really good. And then said she's got a loquat waiting to be planted. I almost bought, I went to get some mulch at Home Depot, Bryan, some black mulch. And they had, I've always wanted a big Jim loquat. And they had grafted ones there. And I almost bought one. But a friend of mine has a loquat tree, and she had seedlings coming up everywhere, and she gave me a bunch of seedlings, and I already put those in the ground. So now I've got 3 loquat trees. Do I want to put in another
one?
I don't know. I thought of maybe digging up one of the seedlings, putting Big Jim, but instead I got a mango.
Gina asks, how old should a peony be before you divide it? I mean, can't you divide those just annually? Does it
They're
matter?
They're like I guess if you compare them to daylilies,
Yeah.
you know, for the first 2 or 3 years, you don't want to be dividing daylilies, but then you can look at the clump. You can see, wow, this is just, I can barely get my arms around it. So I would say about after 3 years, you can go through 3 to 4 years and divide the peonies.
So do it.
But you don't want to
Three-
do it when they're too young because it's important that they build up a big root system to get all those flowers.
So it's like you do it, wait 3 years, do it again, wait 3 years, or
Well,
wait 3 years and then you can start doing it annually.
No,
No. So you got to wait.
right.
You can't. This is not
Right.
something you can do every year.
No, you wouldn't want to because it weakens the plant. And,
Uh-huh.
and you definitely don't want to divide tree peonies.
Yeah. Sorry. When you said I had to think of it, I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely not. Yeah.
I love tree peonies. My daughter, Gina's got a tree peony.
Yeah, don't divide that one, Gina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She,
But so you got to wait a few years after you do it,
Yeah.
let them build up, and kind of.
it's
go
hard
from
for
there.
me to tell because I can look at a plant and I can tell, oh, that should be divided.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, if you look at your plumeria in the pot over there,
Mm-hmm.
that's the size I would divide a peony at.
Okay, so about 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall, 2 feet wide.
Well, the height doesn't make any difference because they're dormant when you divide them. But
Uh-huh.
they could be like
but the plant.
2 feet, 2 feet wide at the bottom. You could easily cut it in half or divide it into 3. But with dividing any plants, you may be sacrificing some blooms the following year.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just depends on what your ultimate goal is for it. If you're looking to use that same plant and fill it into other parts of the garden, that's one reason to do it. If you're just simply dividing to maybe make room, because sometimes plants get too big for an area.
Right.
Then, you do want to be careful because like you're saying, that means you might be sacrificing
Right.
that year because you chose to divide it this year.
Right.
Um,
And some plants like bearded iris is a perfect one. You divide those in August, and if you wait much later than August to divide them, you get no blooms the next year. So you definitely want to divide them when it's time. Carla said that she read, we were talking about jujubes. She said she was on gardening.org and read a great article on jujubes.
So it's the hot fruit right now. Jujubes are the
The
thing to
breeding that's
do.
going on, it is surprising, and it's one of those fruits. You probably have the same feeling as I do that if you're going to grow a fruit, you want to grow something you can't buy in the supermarket.
right. That's
Because,
exactly.
Yeah, and some of those fruits are just because they're unusual, but other times it's because they don't ship well. Because you don't see a lot of
Right.
figs,
Yes.
in the supermarket because they just don't ship well. Used to be that way with berries too. You would never see raspberries, but now they've got some that they bred the taste out of, but they last a long time in the shelf. Tiger, you
I'm
seeing if we forgot anybody here?
I'm ordering honey jujubes. Sorry.
You are?
No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. During the show.
$127.
Well, what's that on?
A Miami fruit.
Oh,
I don't know if this is just the fruit or a tree. Oh, it's a tester box. So this is just the fruit. I didn't know you can order this fruit just like online. But
you think of tropical and subtropical fruits, you think of buying containers, but jujubes are one of the plants you can buy bare root also
really?
and put those in. Yeah, because they're deciduous.
Right, but I mean,
They're
they
pretty
kinda
hardy.
seemed very tender to do shipping bare root. Yeah, that's fun.
They're not as tender as a fig, I don't think.
Really,
Yeah,
figs are more tender than a jujube. Wow,
yeah.
dang, that's cool.
What do you say we take a break before I surprise you?
Thank you. Thank you
got
for
it.
giving us
Yeah,
time.
waited for that little moment of silence. Thank you for tuning in. Those on Facebook Live, Biz Talk Radio, thank you. Great show. Good questions. We love your comments. Do stay with us. I'm Bryan Main, Tiger Palafox, John Bagnesco. Yes, indeed, broadcasting from Tiger's Backyard right here in San Diego, California. Back after these messages on Biz Talk Radio. Okay, we are right back at it. The action continues on Garden America, the nation's most listened to and watched gardening program, John. According to, I think, one of our show intros. I think we do state that. How about that?
You know what I was thinking about when you said before the break one time that we do the news at the top of the hour
For
in
Biz
between
Talk
shows,
only.
and then we come
Yes.
back on.
Yes.
You know what I fear sometimes happens is people are listening to our program, and sometimes there's not always good news. And you know, sometimes the shows start up, and you're like, "Hey, blah blah blah, where we go?" And like, meanwhile, the news that was just reported
Is all negative.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
Yeah, I know.
You
Okay,
know,
back after these messages, gang. And,
I feel like we need to know the news.
we've got the news coming up,
Yeah.
which, of course, we never hear.
No,
You know?
An ocean liner just sunk in the Pacific, killing 10,000 people
and
aboard.
here we are talking about
Back with your
jujubes
gardening questions.
and plumerias.
But you know what? That's why you should listen to our show.
yeah,
Because
Because you need that.
no news is good news
Yeah.
sometimes,
Right,
right?
exactly.
exactly. So I don't know. It just it
That's
made me think
interesting.
about
Sure.
it because we don't know. You know, we were talking about, for those of you that are joining the program and watch the show, sometimes we don't know the commercials that are played between our breaks. We don't know the intros that are done and
Right.
the news.
Because this is not live. We are recording this for Biz Talk Radio.
Right.
So this will be played next weekend.
And so the news is
Changes.
something, we don't know.
Things could
and-
happen.
Yeah,
Between
exactly.
now and then. Yeah, exactly.
So
But
I'm
now, we
sure-
used to be live. We
I'm
had-
sure sometimes it's pretty funny. Like people
Yeah.
listen to like,
Yeah.
okay.
And, some,
What
and
are
not
these
all
guys?
markets carry both hours.
Yeah.
Because there's several affiliates across the country. Some are just hour 1, hour 2, maybe some both hours, which is why you should go to our Facebook page, Garden America Radio Show, and watch us live.
And it's a great way to interact with us and
Sure.
submit your questions before the show. So that way, when we start the show, we have the information. We can queue you up. We can bring in more information about it and go from there. So
We can do a little homework before we answer the questions.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
By the way, I try to eventually get in all the pictures for the newsletter that you send me to john@gardenamerica.com of your backyard, and we solicit those. But I've had a couple people send me an email and say you didn't use my picture, and I will. Well, sometimes I just can't because I have too many.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes the picture will get to me on Thursday, and they want to know why it wasn't in on Friday. I try to have the newsletter at the very latest done by Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right.
So you really
makes
need
sense.
you really need to send me your pictures on Monday and Tuesday if you expect to see them that week. And we do appreciate those.
You know what's interesting is I see pictures from towns and communities that I had no idea were even listening or watching us.
Right? Yeah. You know, there was an article in the newsletter this week about how nasturtium seeds were the poor man's caper, and we had someone in Edmonton,
Alberta.
Thank you, Bryan. Canada that sent us a picture of nasturtiums about a month ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nasturtiums are really cool flowers. There's a lot of really cool looking flowers, and
They're
they
easy to grow.
they just take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's worse than nasturtiums? Because nasturtiums grow from seed, right?
Right.
And you can pull them out and
Easy.
throw the plant away.
Yeah.
But what also spreads like crazy are 4 o'clocks.
Yes.
And
Yes.
those you can't pull,
Can't pull out. Yeah.
They're weedy.
Yeah.
So
I wish my California poppies would grow like nasturtiums do. I planted so many poppies there, and they come up and they do well for a while, but I don't get the full, like, all the way
All the
through.
ground?
You know,
Do
like
they spread?
not really. I mean,
What
they're
kind of
supposed to spread.
poppies?
You know, the California orange California
Yeah.
poppy.
well, those are just annuals.
Well, I know, but I mean, you would think that they would come up. I let them go to seed, and I would imagine they would just populate throughout my yard.
Right.
And they do a little bit, but they don't do it as well as I want them to. Does that make sense? Like nasturtiums, they would do it more than I want them to.
Or morning glories.
Yeah, well, morning glory, yeah, for sure. I think I told you about my morning glory problem up at a property in Fallbrook where we sprayed it with Roundup,
Right.
and it still comes back. And then I sprayed it with undiluted Roundup, and it still was coming back. It's like, oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Is anything else growing in the area?
No.
Because you might have to put down a soil sterilizer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the issue is I mean, I feel like there's just so much root system in there that, like you're saying, I have to like put some kind of soil sterilizer because we try to get it to go through the foliage and it just can't get it all.
Yeah.
You know. But I wish, I might grow some nasturtiums here in the wintertime, put out the seeds, see what happens, come up in the spring, and then
you can pickle the seeds so that you have capers.
have capers. And a lot of people don't realize too, like nasturtiums are a great salad plant also. Like you can incorporate the flowers into meals and things like that too. So, I mean, it's all around.
I wrote
plant.
an article about, I'm thinking it's 20 years ago now, Bryan, and I called it the Colosseum Caper, which is kind of a mystery type title. And it was because when we visited Rome, there were caper plants growing in the Colosseum.
That had been there.
In the walls of the Colosseum.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see that.
Oh, happy birthday to Lila. I have 7 fruit trees that need to be planted in my backyard. You can do a few shows from my backyard and help Harry plant the trees as demonstrations. Tiger is coming here on the 29th. Today is my birthday. And even though it says it's Harry, it is Lila.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And yeah, I will be out there. We have some irrigation to fix, and maybe we can help you plant some of those fruit trees at that time. What fruit trees do you have, Lila, that are going to be planted? And then Carolyn, efforts to naturalize my California poppies has finally been successful. Now they stick around all winter. That's good for her. Where are you at, Carolyn? Do you know? Do you know where Carolyn is at? Or no? Carolyn?
Yeah,
Conway?
Carolyn is in Newport Beach, Costa Mesa.
So a little cooler.
A little breezy.
Yeah. So, I mean.
When the ships, some of the explorer ships came to the California coast in the spring, they saw mountains that were just orange.
I'm sure.
Because of the poppies.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I want. But for some reason, I just can't get it to happen. I've got status,
Oh, yeah.
Growing,
Yeah.
no problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
I would happily take out the status and have California poppies.
Well, but the status is here all year. The poppies are just temporary.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't look good all year, I would say, the status. I don't know. Some of them are looking pretty junky right now. Although I do like that it's just, you don't do anything, and it's not a succulent. So.
Okay, break time.
All right.
Already. How about that? Show flying right by. Now, after this segment here, we've got 2 more segments coming up. The next segment's one of your favorites, John, one of the longer segments of the show.
Oh, I look forward to that.
The longer segment.
Yeah.
So we're going to put a wrap on this segment. We're going to take a break for Biz Talk Radio. Thank you for tuning in, those on Facebook Live. A lot of questions, good comments. We hope that we're helping you along your garden pathway today here on Garden America. Back after these messages on Biz Talk Radio. And just like that, we are back. Thank you to Fertilome, who they keep us on the air. They keep us on Facebook, on Biz Talk Radio, other sponsors. We do appreciate you as well, I should say. As we continue from Tiger's Backyard, Garden America, what's happening, John?
Prior to the break, we were talking about Tiger's attempts to naturalize California poppies.
Right.
And I have some on my one hillside, and a few plants will come back every year.
And did that come down with your seed spread that you did? Is that what they were, or did you plant those there?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. It could have been from the hydroseeding.
Because you had alyssum that came back.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but I don't see a lot of alyssum at your house now. Do you have it still coming back?
It'll come back,
Okay.
yeah. But the one thing that does come back everywhere are gazanias.
Yes.
And it's surprising to see the colors they come back in because they're all different.
Yeah.
I bought at a nursery this spring, or maybe it was last spring, a white gazania because you don't see those as much.
Not as common.
And I had couple seedlings come up, and the original one's gone, but these two new seedlings were white.
So you are like the harbinger of death, though. You're actually attracting. You're actually attracted because if you have gazanias,
You're well known for that.
You are actually like attracting gophers into your yard because gazanias actually attract gophers.
Do
Did
they?
you know that?
No.
Yes.
No,
So-
I knew that.
So you were like calling them to your yard so you can kill
I thought
them.
it was Gerberas.
No, gazanias.
Do you remember I told you I thought I had the last
Gopher
last
of all Fallbrook.
last giant Gerbera?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I had it in a pot, and I finally put it in the ground and was doing great, and gopher came up and ate it.
Yeah.
That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's when I started my vendetta, going after gophers.
See, I would have motion detection, lights come on, video cameras to actually see the gophers do the damage and watch it back.
I've been sitting.
You want to see? You want to suffer? You want to just suffer?
I've been sitting in a chair and watched plants just go down.
You know what's funny?
And you can hear the crunching.
And you know what's so funny?
It's
Really?
like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, you watch those cartoons, right? And you know the little cartoon, and it shows the farmer, and it's like the carrots are like boop, boop,
Yep.
pulling them right through the ground, right? And like what John's just said, if you're out there, you could watch it happen. It does happen in real time,
Right.
and it's amazing that they actually do that. So those cartoons, those little
Somebody
things
was watching
are true.
gophers.
They're
Right.
so true. It's not fake. Yeah, it's horrible. How is the garden? Is it fully protected? No rabbit problems?
I thought you were going to say, is it full of weeds?
No, the veggie garden.
Oh,
Is
no, the
it
veggie
fully-
garden
is it safe?
It's waiting for fall.
Okay, so it's done.
Pretty much done, yeah. I have a new crop of carrots coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And
was
you
just gonna ask you about
mentioned a
carrots.
rabbit, and this morning I'm driving out of my driveway, and right in front of me was a rabbit.
Yeah, but it wasn't in the garden.
No,
Yeah.
because the garden's dead.
It's the rabbit that John let live several months
it's that
ago.
one. It's
It
the Peter.
could-
It's
it
Peter
could
Rabbit.
be.
Yeah, he's got a little jacket on, a little blue jacket on.
I was reading, I'm trying to think of what it came from now. Somebody was telling me that they went, actually it might have been a friend of mine, was telling me that he went to Arizona to buy something. Actually, let's not talk about this.
Yeah.
Now that I think of this story.
Over the border, crossing over the border.
Crossing over the border, transporting of chemicals.
Yeah,
that-
exactly.
yeah.
Well,
Well, it
we've
was
talked about
something-
that before, though.
It was
that-
something that he couldn't get in
Yeah.
California anymore. So
And is it to kill rabbits or repel them, or what was it for?
I think it might have been 4 gophers actually.
To like
Yeah,
kill them?
a gopher bait that we don't sell anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we sell the one with strychnine anymore, which is
That's exactly what it was.
yeah, which was for the longest time we had 2 products on the shelf, and I would go to the customer, I'd say, "What do you want to do? You have this one with strychnine, but the concern is that they eat it once and they die, but there's a concern of a secondary poison."
Secondary poisoning, right.
Meaning if a bird or your dog came along
Yes.
and ate this dead gopher, they could potentially ingest strychnine. Or you have this other poison which needs multiple feedings. It'll still die, but it needs to eat it more than one time, but it takes away the secondary poisoning part of it. And they always went for the strychnine.
Right.
Wow.
But
Kevin mentioned that last week we were talking about Gina's white and pink garden, and that those are the colors she stays with. And he said it'd be nice to see some pictures of the garden and in the newsletter. And Gina does send me pictures for the newsletter occasionally. And if you read the newsletter every week, you'll see some of those.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I was thinking when you mentioned sometimes you don't have room for everybody's photos in the newsletter. Send them to me, and then I'll post them on our. I'll
right.
incorporate them into our Facebook
Into
post
Facebook.
as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Because it's
I
always
keep-
fun to share.
Occasionally you'll see a picture from Tiger
Yeah.
or myself or Bryan. And when you see that, it's only because I don't have another
Yeah,
one
you were
Gotcha.
short that week.
from a listener, right?
Yeah, and that's what I would do,
We
John.
we don't
Here's-
take top of the list.
No, of course
we
not.
we put our listeners
We
first.
come off the bench.
Right.
Yeah.
We're bench warmers when it comes to the pictures.
bench warmers.
But no, I totally get it. I said, John, here, in case you're short,
Yeah.
here's a picture.
Tiger, when you were
Here's a leaf.
talking, I'm sorry, Brian.
No, here's a picture of a leaf, John. Go ahead.
This is a green plant. Plant, not planet. Plant.
It's next week I'll send you a bush.
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe a tree after that. Tiger, you were asking how the vegetable garden was doing, and while I do have a few tomatoes coming, it's pretty much dead and waiting for the new fall planting. When do you think that should happen in inland areas
As far as
as fall planting, like cruciferous crops like
So-
broccoli,
Cauliflower.
cauliflower, cabbage,
so, if you're buying plants,
peas.
if you're buying actual plants from a garden center, I would wait until late October, just because we get those Santa Ana winds, and those crops do not appreciate that hot, dry weather at all, and especially when they're young and tender. If you're planting from seed, you could probably plant in mid-October, because then by the time they actually come up, it's going to be November, and then we're past that time. But I think that's your biggest challenge. So how back east they deal with the last frost or the last cold snap.
Right.
It's almost like we're waiting until the last heat snap.
Heat breaks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Because
yeah.
as soon as that happens, then it's like you go November, December, January, we're flying, we're looking good. But if you plant those crops and we get one of those real hot, dry periods,
Yeah.
that's it just wipes them all out.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
bolt and go to seed.
Yeah.
I'm looking at little, very young tomatoes behind you.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. They
Look at
haven't turned
that.
red though.
Look at those.
I don't
Yeah.
understand why. I don't understand why they're not turning red. I've had them for a little
Well,
while.
they
and I
don't.
just-
They don't embarrass easy.
no, they don't. Exactly. So they just.
What is
stay.
that variety? What is that?
It's a volunteer.
Oh, okay.
John called it my 2-bite tomato. Yeah. But yeah, so that's my volunteer. Just grows and takes over. I don't know. Maybe
you just let it
it'll
do
be
its
later.
thing, right?
Yeah, it grows into the grassy area, and I try to keep it cleaned out of
Right.
there. But other than that, I just let it go up the
You
fence.
keep it at the height of the
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah. I try to get it to grow up the fence more, so it's more vertical.
Mm-hmm.
But it tends to just go wild. It's really, and I don't know where it's getting water from. I might have a leak down there.
I know. That's always it's a.
Because
Where are you getting water from?
there's no irrigation there whatsoever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not getting watered. Like I have irrigation going to a lot of these
Sure.
plants, but not there.
Not even the water from the lawn.
No, not my beautifully green fake lawn.
You keep
Exactly.
it so green. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, right. The dogs don't tear it up or anything. It's like good mowing. Rick asked, "Where's the barbecue, Tiger?" Yeah, I know. Huh? We should have a barbecue out here for one of our shows. Morning barbecue. Some
morning
bacon,
barbecue.
bacon and sausage and steak and
Yeah,
eggs.
look at you.
Yeah, that'd be a good morning barbecue, right?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Absolutely.
Arlene seems to think a poinsettia tree would look fabulous in my.
Now, what
garden.
does she mean by a poinsettia tree?
That's a great question, right? Like,
Because there's the old, real old poinsettias. I think you used to be able to buy them at Widener's. And I think it was.
You can maybe buy them during the break because we have a break coming up. Maybe purchase.
All right,
them
we'll talk
during the
about
break.
poinsettias when we come
Well,
back.
and here's the bad news. Only one more segment to go.
What?
And it's one of the shorter segments.
Oh, and Rick has another question.
And Rick has
too.
a question. So a quick break. Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live. One more segment. Do stay with us. This is Garden America. We are back. This is it. 7 minutes and 48 seconds. That's the segment time, guys.
Yeah, I think it was
Widener's.
Henrietta Ecke was
Oh,
the
Ecke.
variety.
Of the poinsettia tree.
Right. Well, they're not trees. They're
But-
just you'll see them growing wild and
Mm-hmm.
along the roads and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're the ones that naturalize it
And
pretty
that
well.
big double flower.
Mm-hmm.
The one just a huge flower. So I don't know if she's talking about that, or there is a poinsettia tree that I've tried growing before. That's
Is it a poinsettia? Or
no,
is it just
it's a
poinsettia tree?
Varzavickia.
Oh, Varzavickia. Yeah,
Yeah.
no clue what that is.
But probably one of the most spectacular trees I've ever seen.
Is it a big tree?
No, not a huge
No?
tree, but like a dwarf citrus.
See, this is where John's property is perfect because you can have a lot of trees, and even
Right.
if they're like medium-sized trees, you can have a lot of trees there.
Right.
Where here, I've got some good space, but I don't have space for a lot of trees. You know, it's going to be a challenge.
Well, it gets crampy here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I have to watch for the view also, though.
That is true. You want it, but that's where you have the levels. You have the lower area, which you can plant anything. You're not gonna like lose any view.
And plus, I start small because along the driveway,
Yeah.
as you pull in, where the dry garden is, there's 15 trees in there. And some of those trees get to be 100 feet tall and 70 feet wide.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I won't be there, but they'll look good.
Rick asked a funny question because we did talk about this last week. Carla mentioned this, and Rick said, "Do the Orioles make nest in your banana trees, Tiger?"
And
we
we
talked
were
about
talking
that.
about this
And
last
we were
week.
because you thought it was a hummingbird
I thought
nest.
they were a hummingbird's nest, and you said it was an Oriole's nest, and I was like, "Wow, I don't think
But
I've
we
ever
don't
seen
see any
an
Orioles
Oriole.
around here.
But I mean, that must be a common thing that Orioles make nests in bananas, and it's really cool nests. I've got to see if I have another one because it was really neat.
Not Baltimore Orioles, though.
No, definitely not them. And then Lenore suggests that I stop watering my tomatoes or pick them and let them turn red on the counter because I was talking about how
Right.
they didn't turn red. And
But
stop
you
watering.
also said you
I
don't
don't
water.
water
We
them.
don't water them. Yeah,
So I
Never
guess,
water.
Yeah, I guess my next step is going to just be pick them and see if they turn red on the counter. We'll see.
Well, they will, but they won't taste as good
Yeah.
as if they're allowed to ripen on the plant.
on the actual plant. That will be the test. But the nice thing is that I did not plant that or choose to plant that. So whatever happens, I'm happy with.
it's okay.
Yeah, if that plant died tomorrow,
It's all
I
a
would
bonus.
Not, I
All a
would
bonus.
Not. I would not even wink about it. Yeah. So, lots of good stuff. I'm glad that the show worked out today.
Yes. I'm
some
afraid to
good
do
stuff.
anything different moving forward, at least right now.
We're all just going to stay in these exact spots for the next
Right.
week. So sorry, but Dana, Bryan is not coming home. Shannon, John is not coming home. We're just staying
You
here.
think that's going to upset them?
Yeah, I was going to say you don't need an
What-
apology.
what-
They
yeah.
need to,
They
they'll
were
probably
like,
thank you.
"Yes." Yeah. They're just going to stay here. We're going to keep everything running. And we're going to have 7
Well, hey,
days
good job,
of Facebook
though.
Live.
Congratulations on what you did this week to try to figure all these weird things that, there is a basic premise to everything we do and how this is normally set up with remotes and stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not the case with this setup. A lot of trial by error. There's Facebook pages. There's your page. There's a lot of things that go into why this doesn't work. Why is
Yeah.
the camera shutting
It's
off?
all technology, Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
It's molecules.
and
molecules.
the molecules. They're a big part.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm glad we were able to use everything well and good questions. And Rita had mentioned you can use the Merlin app to listen for the birds that make the nest for their ID, which that is a pretty cool little app.
Merlin app.
So you basically hold it up and it listens, and any bird that makes a noise, it identifies that bird.
Oh,
Like
I
that.
never heard of
Merlin.
Yeah, Merlin app.
Like Merlin the Magician.
Yeah,
that. Like King Arthur Merlin.
exactly.
Capes and high funny hats
Because that's what he was known for, identifying bird sounds.
and stars on your clothing.
Carry a cane or walking stick.
John's thinking about that visual.
Actually, I was thinking about the was the wizard's name Radagast?
That was Merlin.
No, the wizard that was in Lord of the Rings, the one that had the all the animals follow him.
No, I don't know.
It's
All I know is Gandalf.
that's too much for you, right?
Yeah.
I think he was a friend of Gandalf's.
So they're all friends of Gandalf.
not Sauron.
They were friends at one point, weren't they?
They may have been.
I think they were.
They may have been.
Yeah. Then they had a falling out.
I wanted to quickly mention, too, that we've done this in the past, but if anyone wants an article on a particular item for the newsletter, if you send a note to john@gardenamerica.com, I'll be happy to write a little article on it and stick it in the newsletter.
How about that?
'Cause-
Pictures and articles that people
Yeah.
can request or
Well,
have
it's
shown.
I got to come up with 52 ideas a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
So
It's always nice when you get something that helps you
right.
in a direction, give you some direction.
Yeah.
You should do an article on the Merlin app. Look into it.
No,
See-
don't ask me to do an article on anything technical. You wrote an article for the newsletter when you first started working with us.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I think you actually
remember
did
what it was
the
on.
newsletter.
Yeah, I did the newsletter for a while.
Right. Until
Yeah.
I yelled at you because your typefaces were
Yeah,
not consistent.
Exactly. Said, give me that back. You're terrible.
All right, that's going to do it.
All right.
Wrapping
happy,
things up.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Thank you for listening. Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live. And if all goes well and the rivers don't rise, as they say, we'll be here next week, John.
Let's hope not.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much. Those tuned in on Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live, our regulars, those that are new to the show, thank you so much. I'm Bryan Main, John Begnesco, Tiger Palafox. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week, and we'll do it again next week right here on Garden America. Take care.